The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
The absolute undeniable peak of fame.
Exactly, but picture this for a second. You are standing on that red carpet, flashbulbs firing like a strobe light, thousands of screaming fans.
Oh, just total chaos.
Yeah, and then a sudden shift. You hold up a hand, the cameras stop, the crowd fades into total silence.
Wow.
You intentionally turn your back, walk away from the fame, the fortune, and just disappear into complete obscurity.
Which is, I mean, it completely short-circuits our whole cultural understanding of success.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's deep dive is based on a massive story. Ian Somerhalder finally explains why he walked away from Hollywood.
Yeah, we are unpacking a whole stack of sources today. Interviews, financial analyses, documentary press notes.
Because this isn't just your standard celebrity gossip, you know? It's a really fascinating case study in creative burnout, catastrophic financial fraud, and ultimate reinvention.
It really is. I mean, think about it. You, listening right now, imagine walking away from your career at its absolute peak. What would it take to make you pull the plug?
Right. And Somerhalder didn't just quietly fade out. His career basically ended over a standoff with a streaming giant over a show he thought was unwatchable.
Yeah, it's a total fiasco.
Most of you probably know him as the heartthrob vampire Damon Salvatore from the Vampire Diaries, or maybe Boone from Lost.
Iconic roles. But to understand his breaking point, we have to look at this 2019 Netflix series called V-Wars.
Right, because he had just spent, 8 seasons playing a vampire?
Exactly. 172 episodes. And in Hollywood, that level of repetitive exposure, it leads to severe typecasting.
Oh, totally. They stopped seeing you as an actor.
Right. You just become this highly specific commodity. So when V-Wars came along, he saw a way to break the mold.
The funny thing is, it was still a vampire show.
It was. But he wasn't playing the monster this time. He wanted to play the scientist, Dr. Luther Swan.
And he was so committed to this pivot, he uprooted his entire family, moved them to Northern Ontario, and spent almost a year just immersed in this production.
Yeah, he wasn't just showing up to read lines. He was an executive producer. He directed episodes. He poured his soul into it.
But then, the main event. The studio turned in the first cut of the show.
And he was absolutely horrified.
He was. He recently admitted that this initial version they handed him was just completely unwatchable.
Which is devastating after a year of work.
Right. But his response is what breaks every rule in the Hollywood playbook. He went to the studio and literally offered them millions of dollars of his own money to buy the show back.
Wait, really? Just to buy it back?
Yeah, just so his name wouldn't be attached to a substandard product.
That is just an unheard of move. I mean, usually an actor in a bad project just takes the massive paycheck, smiles through the press tour, and quietly distances themselves later.
Exactly. But Somerhalder and his producing partner, James Gibb, they pushed aggressively for creative control to fix the mess.
And Netflix actually agreed to give them creative control, right?
They did, but with this punishing caveat. They gave them the control but refused to provide a single extra dollar.
Wow. So they said, fix it, but pay for it yourself.
Exactly. So to save the series, Somerhalder and Gibb had to go out and personally raise over $6 million.
That's insane.
And because they were on a shoestring budget for a sci-fi action show, they were forced into this brutal production schedule. They shot something like 10 to 12 hours of usable footage in just 6 days.
Oh, the human body simply cannot sustain that kind of output.
No, it can't. He was actually hospitalized for exhaustion.
I mean, I'm not surprised. The sheer mental and physical strain of directing, producing, and acting without sleep, his body just shut down.
It's like buying your dream house, right? And then realizing the foundation is completely rotten.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
So you spend your own life savings, your physical health, to rebuild it perfectly. And against all odds, they did it. The show premiered in December 2019 to a really warm response.
They fixed it.
They did, only for the bank to basically bulldoze the house anyway. Netflix quietly canceled it after 1 season.
And the reason for the cancellation is what completely broke his faith in the industry.
Right, because Somerhalder revealed that the executives were basically they were bitching at each other.
Yeah, internal studio politics. They admitted behind closed doors that they shouldn't have canceled it, but said renewing it would set a terrible precedent.
It had nothing to do with the art or the viewership. It was just corporate ego.
Exactly. And if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed because we've got even crazier stories ahead.
Definitely hit subscribe, because think about it. He looked in the mirror at 40 years old and realized he couldn't let his life be controlled by executives playing high school power games.
Right. He realized acting was just working tirelessly to fulfill someone else's dream.
But walking away from Hollywood seems crazy on its own. And later in the deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming.
Oh, the financial stuff.
Yeah. What the public didn't know was that while he was fighting Netflix, he was secretly fighting a much more terrifying monster off-screen.
One that had quietly drained him of millions.
Yeah. Somerhalder fell into what he called an 8-figure hole. Over $10 million in debt due to a catastrophic business fraud.
Just staggering amounts of money.
Hey, I have to push back on this, though. When we think of a network TV star, we assume they are totally financially bulletproof.
Right, like they have endless money.
Exactly. So how does someone go from earning an insanely lucrative TV salary to owing $10 million and selling their watches to survive?
Well, it highlights this really harsh reality.
Yeah.
High income is not the same thing as actual financial security.
Right.
Somerhalder was trying to transition away from acting, so he invested heavily in an unnamed clean energy company. But he didn't build the corporate entity properly.
Ah, so a lack of structural oversight.
Exactly. When you have this massive influx of cash from a hit show, it creates a dangerous illusion. You assume the well will never run dry.
So you pour money into unstructured ventures.
Yep. And when that clean energy business collapsed due to massive internal fraud, the safety net vanished instantly. He was left holding the bag for everything.
That fallout was just catastrophic. He and his wife, actress Nikki Reed, they couldn't just dip into savings to fix an 8-figure deficit.
Yeah, $10 million is way too much.
They had to sell absolutely everything: houses, cars, paintings. He described it as a true nightmare.
But there's a brilliant contrast here between this and the V-Wars situation.
Oh, the sunk cost fallacy.
Exactly. With the TV show, he kept pouring money and health into a sinking ship. But to survive this financial fraud, he had to do the exact opposite.
He had to fail fast.
Yes. Taking full responsibility and liquidating your assets requires checking your ego at the door. You have to aggressively sever the infected limb to save the patient.
And Nikki Reed was really the hero of this story. Somerhalder openly says she pulled up her bootstraps, assembled a ruthless legal team, and spent years at the negotiating table.
Which is a full-time trauma.
It is. He admits she devoted her life to getting him out of that mess, and it almost killed her along the way.
It just shows the value of a partner who can stay objective when you are drowning in a crisis.
But wait till you hear what came next. Stripped of his Hollywood status, his wealth, his home, you'd think he would crawl back to the safety of network television.
Right, just take a procedural drama role for the paycheck.
Exactly. But instead, he and Reed headed completely off the grid to build something entirely different.
They traded red carpets for dirt roads.
Literally. They moved to a regenerative farm far from the city. He joked their nearest neighbor is miles away, and it's a pain in the ass to get anywhere.
They wanted that extreme privacy.
Yep.
And they aren't just treating this farm like a vacation home.
Oh no, they are working 90-hour weeks now. But they're building purpose-driven companies.
Right, like Brothers Bon Boobin with his co-star Paul Wesley.
Which shipped 50,000 cases in its first 4 months, by the way.
That's incredible. And they also built the Absorption Company for science-backed supplements.
And Reed launched Bayou with Love, which is this eco-jewelry line forged from recycled e-waste.
So cool. But the foundational difference between this 90-hour work week and the exhaustion from V-Wars is ownership.
Exactly. If these succeed or fail, it's on his terms. But, the true passion project for him now is regenerative agriculture.
Yeah, this brings us to a fascinating part of our analysis. He was deeply involved in this documentary called Common Ground.
Right, alongside Laura Dern, Jason Momoa, Woody Harrelson.
It's the sequel to Kiss the Ground.
Mm-hmm.
And they're championing the science to fight this terrifying reality of soil degradation.
Experts are warning that if we don't change our methods, we are accelerating toward a second Dust Bowl.
Because of industrial agriculture. For centuries, we've relied heavily on tilling the earth and using synthetic chemicals.
So let's unpack tilling, because it sounds totally harmless, right? You just think of a tractor turning over dirt. Why is that so bad?
Well, healthy soil is a complex ecosystem held together by fungal networks. It's actually one of the largest carbon sinks on the planet.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. So when a plow rips through the earth to till the soil, It shreds that fungal network. And worse, it exposes all that ancient trapped carbon to oxygen.
Oh, I get it. It operates just like shaking up a bottle of soda and popping the cap.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
The moment you break the seal with a plow, all that trapped carbon aggressively fizzes out into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide.
Contributing massively to the climate crisis.
Hmm.
And then the soil is dead and dusty, so it can't absorb water, which leads to flooding.
It's just a destructive loop. But the film highlights how regenerative agriculture reverses this through no-till farming, planned grazing, and cover crops.
The history of cover crops is incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
The documentary anchors this science in indigenous practices and the work of Dr. George Washington Carver.
Right. Because at the Tuskegee Institute, Dr. Carver saw that the soil across the South was being depleted by this over-reliance on cotton.
Which was an agricultural system built on a horrific history of slavery and just pure extraction.
And cotton is a greedy plant. It strips the nutrients. So Dr. Carver's solution was to introduce cover crops like peanuts and clover.
Legumes, right?
Exactly. And the biology is fascinating. Legumes have a symbiotic relationship with bacteria in their roots that can literally pull nitrogen gas straight out of the air.
Wow.
And they convert it into a solid form in the soil. They are natural fertilizer factories.
So Carver proved you could heal the soil without destructive chemicals. But industrial agriculture ignored it for profitable synthetic fertilizers.
It reminds me of the human gut microbiome.
Oh, how so?
While spraying toxic pesticides across fields is like swallowing a massive dose of broad-spectrum antibiotics every single day.
Right, it kills the pests, but destroys the foundational bacteria you need.
Exactly. Regenerative agriculture is like introducing probiotics. It feeds the microbiology of the earth so the system can heal itself.
And the Rodale Institute actually estimates that if we transition the world's farmland to these models, the healthy soil could sequester the absolute totality of the carbon dioxide humanity emits each year.
Wait, all of it?
Yes, it pulls the carbon out of the air and locks it underground to fuel plant growth. It's a viable pathway to net zero emissions.
That is staggering. And the craziest part is the federal government is actually paying attention now.
Yeah, the USDA committed $20 billion toward climate-smart regenerative agriculture initiatives.
$20 billion.
The largest single investment ever made towards soil health by a government agency.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button because these stories just keep getting wilder. Think about the poetic irony here. Somerhalder spent years playing an immortal vampire, and now he's dedicating his life to making the planet immortal.
It's a total philosophical shift.
Yeah.
And it permeates his parenting, too.
Yeah.
Raising kids off the grid, placing strict parameters on technology.
Nikki Reed talks about valuing presence over pixels.
Right. They barter with neighbors. They accept farming failures as part of nature's balance. Acting felt like fulfilling someone else's dream, but farming is where the rubber meets the road.
It forces you to deal with reality. Which brings us to the core takeaway for you listening today. This deep dive isn't just celebrity trivia.
No, not at all.
It's a masterclass in setting boundaries. It's a blueprint for surviving catastrophic failure by breaking out of the sunk cost fallacy.
And learning to fail fast.
Exactly. And above all, having the courage to redefine success on your own terms, even if the world thinks you are crazy for walking away from the spotlight.
It takes profound bravery to step off a path that society universally agrees is the top. He had to face his ego, navigate financial ruin, process climate anxiety, and just forge a new identity from the dirt up.
Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to chew on today. We just talked about how regenerative agriculture has the potential to pull humanity's emitted carbon back into the earth, right?
Utilizing Dr. Carver's methods from over a century ago.
So if the science is clear and the government is finally allocating billions to support it, it raises a deeply uncomfortable question for you to mull over. Is the real monster we are fighting actually carbon emissions? Or is the true threat the entrenched inertia of the multi-billion-dollar industrial agricultural lobby?
Oh, wow.
An industry that refuses to abandon its highly profitable, chemical-heavy ways, even as the soil turns to dust beneath our feet.
It really forces you to look at the systems we blindly accept. Are we building a sustainable foundation or just decorating a house that's sinking into the sand?
Exactly. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining. We'll catch you next time.